Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jane Qass. I am the Employer Engagement Manager for the CIPD in the Middle East. Thank you so much for registering for our webinar for today and taking some of your time and being with us today. Today, I'll be hosting with my colleague Rahul, who is our Customer Relationship Executive at CIPD in the Middle East. And we'll be talking to you about how to become a member of the CIPD through experience assessment. I'm sure some of you have heard of experience assessment, some haven't heard of it. So this is why we're here today. We want to tell you all about it and what's in it for you. In our objectives for today, you'll be able to know the value of becoming a member. What does it mean for you to be recognized professionally? How can you recognize your personal achievements and experience through CIPD? We offer this not only for individuals, but only for groups in organizations. So we'll also be talking about the difference between individual experience assessment and group experience assessment. And towards the end, we'll have a couple of success stories from two of our recent members who've been through experience assessments. And at the end, we'll allow some time for questions and answers for me, for Rahul, for the two candidates that we have with us today to tell about their success stories. And before we start, I'd like to thank my colleagues who are working in the background on making this happen and making this webinar come together. So moving on, I'd like to introduce you to my colleague, Rahul, and Rahul will be talking to us about experience assessment, the whole process from the beginning until the end. And please, if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat box and we will definitely get back to them towards the end of our presentation. Rahul, over to you.
Hello, everyone. This is Rahul. I am the Customer Relationship Executive at CIPD Middle East. Thank you, Jane, for introducing me. I just want to quickly ensure everyone can hear me. So if I can just get a yes, or that'll be great. Perfect. Right. Jane, you can hear me, yeah? So you can go ahead. Yeah. Okay. So I first want to talk about the two main routes to membership. That we will be talking about experience assessment, but the two main routes to membership are experience assessment is number one, and CIPD qualifications. I am guessing some of you might have already heard of CIPD qualification, which is our academic route to membership, which covers our certificates and diplomas. That's the academic route to membership, ideally aimed at HR and L&D professionals who do not have a wide range of work experience in the HR or L&D domain. So that's number one, the qualification route. The other route, and that route we'll be focusing on today, is the experience assessment route, which is our non-qualification route into membership. So these are the two main routes into membership. Whether you go through a qualification or experience assessment, the end outcome is a grade of membership with the CIPD. So that's the routes to membership. Now moving on. So let's first talk about why we think CIPD membership is important for you as a HR or L&D professional. To start, CIPD membership gives you more bargaining power when it comes to negotiating salaries with employers. It is a proof to employers that you meet the high standards of the CIPD and you have the skills and experience to function as a HR or L&D professional. Professional credibility gives you a voice in the industry. It's a reflection to employers and peers and clients that you meet the practices of working in the HR or L&D domain. It makes you a part of the larger HR community. CIPD is one of the only professional organizations in the world that can give HR and L&D professionals chartered status. We have members over the world, and it's about 150,000 members plus across the globe. So you do become a part of the larger HR community. You get an opportunity to network and communicate with future HR and L&D professionals and influential thinkers in the industry. Now, So that's for why we believe CIPD membership is important for you. Now, I will also touch on some of the main benefits of becoming a CIPD member. So the first being I want to talk about is the Knowledge Hub. The CIPD Knowledge Hub is our professional network that gives you access to over 200 HR and L&D journals, fact sheets, and policy that you will have access to as a CIPD professional. You get to take part in our events and conferences. So we have a regional conference, the CIPD Middle East Annual People Conference and Awards that is to take place in 2021, May 21 to be precise. Then there is the International Conference, which happens in the UK. You also get to take part in webinars and seminars that we conduct frequently, and also meetup sessions when we are able to, of course. You also get access to our career hub, which is tailored to your professional needs and your membership level. Since we are committed to your professional development, you will have access to my professional map with the CIPD and other professional tools and knowledge tools to help you develop as a HR or L&D professional. Now, these are some of the main benefits. Benefits can vary from one region to the other. So please get in touch with your local CIPD office to know more about the membership benefits. Now, before we dive into experience assessment, let's talk about the membership grades. As you can see from the slide, there are 3 membership grades with the CIPD. You have the associate membership, the chartered membership, and the chartered fellow membership. The level of membership that you will get onto will depend on your work experience and the impact you've made in your current HR or L&D role. Associate members normally work in a variety of functional roles, supporting people's solutions. They could be specialist in a certain field or a generalist, and they mainly work at functional tasks. Chartered members could be managers or senior managers in large organizations. They could be working in business partnering or as functional managers. They have to work at a functional level, but the thought process needs to be more at the strategic level. So that's chartered membership for you. Finally, the senior, which is the chartered fellow. Now, these could be directors or senior heads. In large organizations, you could be a functional head or the director of people management, or you could be an independent consultant. The whole idea is for senior professionals that create value into the people profession. So that is a chartered fellow membership, the highest level, the grade of membership that you achieve with the CIPD. Now, the main topic of the webinar, experience assessment. So CIPD experience assessment is a rigorous, time-efficient membership route. CIPD experience assessment is based on your work experience. It is not a qualification-based route. It is a completely experience evidence-based route. We map your experience against our professional map and award you a level of a grade of membership with the CIPD. It could be associate, chartered, or fellow. So once again, it is a completely flexible experience-based route into CIPD membership. Yeah. Now let's run you through some of the benefits of going to experience assessment. Number one being professional recognition. So at the end of experience assessment, if you're successful, you'll be able to do the CIPD designations, which is associate, fellow, or chartered CIPD. It is a time-efficient route. You can actually complete experience assessment in as little as 4 months. It is not a qualification, so no exams or no study needed. It is completely evidence and experience-based, and it sort of reflects only on experience to complete the experience assessment route. It is a fully virtual assessment, which is, I think, the need of the hour now. So all of your written components are submitted on the EA portal. You have a professional discussion call, which is also done on one of the calling softwares like Zoom or Skype, depending on the region you're in. So you can actually do it from the comfort of your home. You can do it you can start it in any part of the world and finish it in any part of the world. So these are some of the benefits of going to experience assessment. Now, let's look at the criteria. A lot of times I get asked, so how do I know if I'm eligible for experience assessment? What is the minimum eligibility? So key criteria for experience assessment is that you need to consistently have worked at the level that you're applying for at least 1 year within the last 5 years. So what this really means is, let me give you a good example here. So let's say if you're working as an HR executive for the last 4.5 years, and for the last 6 months, of the 5-year period, you are working as an HR manager. So the experience that will really count is the experience that you have as an HR executive, because that's the longer period, that's the longer, more than 1 year. However, let's say if you have worked as a HR manager for 4 years and the last 1 year you're working as HR business partner. So then we will consider the HR business partner role, because that's because you meet the 1 year requirement of the key criteria that we have for experience assessment. Before telling you more about the whole process, I'm going to hand it over to my colleague Jane, who's going to now explain the CIPD professional map to you.
Okay, so the profession map, and what does the profession map mean? The profession map is a set of standards for the people profession. It's absolutely relevant to everyone who is in this profession, in the HR and L&D domain. And as you can see, there are three different areas in our profession map, which is the core knowledge, core behaviors, and specialist knowledge. The core knowledge and core behaviors absolutely relate to each and everyone who is in this profession, no matter where you are in the organization, no matter who you are and what your experience is. These should absolutely be part of your knowledge and behaviors in your day-to-day work. It's an interactive map. So if you do go on our website, or if you do visit peopleprofession.cipd.org and you go to the people profession map, you'll be able to click on the core knowledge area and core behaviors and the specialist knowledge and see the different standards under that and the different areas. You would also be able to find out your own level. There's a tab in there that you can click on and you can start exploring what level are you on. As my colleague Rahul mentioned earlier, there are 3 different levels where you can, where it will allow you to go through the experience assessment route. And it doesn't, it honestly, it's all about you, your experience, and where you fall benchmarked against these standards. So it's very easy to use. And if you have any questions about this, even after we're done with the webinar, please send us an email and let us know. And we'll be more than happy to explore the new profession map with you and go through the details. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rahul. Back to you, Rahul.
Thank you so much, Jane. Okay, so now let's talk about the experience assessment journey. So before we start, let me tell you that while I did say that it takes as little as 4 months, ideally what we give you is 6 months to complete it. We do anticipate you should be able to complete it in 4 months, however. So the number one step is to complete the pre-assessment tool that's on our website. So now the pre-assessment tool is a questionnaire that is designed to help you assess your readiness for experience assessment. The questions will vary from one grade of membership to the other. So I forgot mentioning this earlier to you, but please go through the checklist for each membership grade before you actually take up the pre-assessment tool. It should not take you more than 10 minutes, but it'll help you assess your readiness for the process. Thanks to the CIPD pre-assessment screening, we believe that 90% of delegates that go through experience assessment actually are able to get the level of membership that they're aiming for. So that's step one. That's the pre-assessment tool, absolutely free and available on our website. Step two is to, once you've completed the pre-assessment tool and you've received your outcome, you will receive an email with the outcome and further steps, which will include the registration form that you need to complete and send it to us. So the step two is you complete the registration form and send it to us along with your CV. We'll do a quick CV screening just to ensure that you're definitely at the level of membership that you're applying for the grade of membership. And then you pay for your experience assessment. Now, in terms of the fees, it can be anything between 2,200 to 2,600 pounds. It depends on the level of membership that you're applying for. And so that will be the fees for your entire experience assessment process, sorry. And it also includes your first year of membership. The step 3 is the main part where you submit your written component. So I will talk about that in the next slide. But the step 3 is the written component of experience assessment, whereby you submit 3 different reports. Again, I'll talk about that in the next slide. The step number 4 is your assessment discussion call, your professional discussion call. that you will have with the CIPD. An assessor from the CIPD will get in touch with you, as I said earlier, over one of the calling apps like Zoom or Skype. Once all that is done, that's step 5, which is the final step of the process, where we send you your feedback report. And if successful, we give you a level of membership with the CIPD. Yeah. So now let's talk about number 3 and number 4, the points here. So number 3 is the written component, and number 4 is your professional discussion call. So in number 3, you have 3 reports. Now we give you 8 weeks to complete the written component of the experience assessment process. However, we anticipate that you will not be spending more than 5 to 8 days to actually complete the whole written piece of your experience assessment. So let's look at the 3 reports now. So the number 1 report is the knowledge and impact report. Now, as the name very clearly suggests, this report should demonstrate your knowledge in the profession. It should demonstrate your eligibility for the grade of membership that you're applying for and the impact you've made on your role. So let's look at a quick example here. So since we are in a pandemic, and we have all been working remotely for quite a long time. So let's see, let's say in your organization in April 2020, you implemented a work from home policy. So in this report, you will talk about how you have implemented this policy, how you've been involved, and what the policy involves. And you could give 3 or 4 examples within the last 5 years of such impacts or policies that you have made. Please don't worry, we understand you're HR and L&D professionals and you have access to a lot of sensitive data. We will not be asking you for that. You will just give pure examples of the impact that you have made in the profession. So that's your knowledge and impact report. The second report is your behavior report. Now, in essence, this is a self-assessment report. It talks about your behavior as a HR or L&D professional. You give examples of core behaviors as mentioned by Jane earlier in the CIPD profession map. And so this will be completely a self-assessment report, which totally talks about the how part of how you behave and how you work as a HR or L&D profession. So that's the behavior report. And the final report is your professional development report. So this report has 3 parts. Then the first part is which talks about your learning experience and your developments. The second part talks about your key strengths. And the final part is actually peer feedback. So what on your EA portal, you will have the option to send links to 2 of your colleagues who will give a feedback about you. So this ideally should be your current line manager and your colleague, or could also be your previous line manager within the last 5 years. It will not take them more than 45 minutes to complete this part, and you can send them the link and reminders directly from the portal. I'll actually show you a quick demo of what the portal looks like in the next slide. So these are the 3 reports. Again, we give you 8 weeks to do this, but we anticipate you should be able to do this within 5 and 8 days. You shouldn't be spending more time than that. Yeah. And then comes your professional discussion. Your professional discussion happens about 3 weeks after you have completed the written piece of experience assessment. Your professional discussion call will last you between 2 to 2.5 hours. This is your opportunity to talk. This is your opportunity to demonstrate to our assessor that you meet the eligibility requirements of the grade of membership that you're applying for. This is where you can give examples of why you feel that you are eligible for that particular membership grade. The assessor could also ask you examples from what you've submitted on the knowledge and impact report or the behavior report. So again, going back to, let's say, my example of the working from home policy that you may have implemented. So the assessor could ask you questions like, oh, can you tell me more? How you went through this, how did you implement the policy, who was involved, what is the impact, things like that. So this is essentially your opportunity to talk and demonstrate. This is not like a sort of an interview, but it is more of an opportunity for you to talk about how you feel that you match up to the eligibility grade of the membership that you're applying for. So once the written components and your professional discussion is completed, the assessor will compile all of these and create a feedback report for you that will mainly focus on your development needs. It will focus on your key strength, and it will actually be a report that focuses on your continuous professional development, and also the professor or the assessor will give you your level of membership that you achieve. So this happens about 6 weeks after that you've completed the calls. So that is the entire experience assessment journey. I will send you an email later on with all the details, and we are always available, all of the CIPD branches, if you have any more questions. Moving on, let me quickly show you what the portal really looks like. So when you log in, once we give you the login details after you've registered and paid for the process, this is what the portal looks like. So as you can see on the top, there's something called as a dashboard. Now, dashboard is where you will be able to submit your reports. It will be where you'll be able to send links to your colleagues to complete your peer feedback. Then you've got the resources, as the name suggests, it will have some of the resources to help you prepare for the journey, answer any FAQs that you might have. And the last one is guidance and support. Now, this is the one I would highly suggest after you see this quick video, once you log in, that you go to first, because this actually has your guidance pack. It will help you explain the whole process and what you need to do from start to end. So I highly suggest going through this as soon as you log in. So that's it from now my end. And now my colleague Jane is going to tell you more about the group experience assessment.
Thank you very much, Rahul. So as I mentioned in the beginning of this session, that we do have the service for individuals, and we also have it for a group of people. Now, the differences between having it done for individuals and a group of people within one organization, well, basically you get a dedicated project manager for the whole group. And everyone, we kind of work with the organization and the individuals within that organization to their own timelines. When would they like to start with their group experience assessment route? And so they start together and they finish together. It kind of helps build that teamwork spirit. And in addition to receiving your own individual report, the organization also gets their own an organizational insights report as well. If you'd like to find out more about the group experience assessment, you can email us directly and I can get in touch with you and talk about this. As you can see on this slide as well, as I mentioned, the dedicated project manager, the individuals as well get a 60-minute pre-assessment discussion with their CIPD assessor. And of course, the, sorry, excuse me, and of course the reports at the end. Of course, if you have any questions about group experience, let me know. At the end, you can put I can see some questions are coming in on the chat box. You can put your questions in on the chat box, or you can share your questions directly with us by email later on. Now, moving on, we will be hearing a couple of success stories from recent members of the CIPD. The first one is Ms. Ishrat. Ms. Ishrat is the VP of Learning and Development at Mashriq Bank here in the UAE. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to be with us today, so she kindly sent us a video talking about her experience with us. What was amazing about Ms. Ishrat is that she, she got in touch with me right during the lockdown period that happened here in the UAE back in March. And she decided she wants to go for her experience assessment. And she was able to get it done within a few months. And now she is a fellow member of the CIPD. Let's hear what Ishrat has to say.
Greetings from Dubai. I work at Mashriq, a dynamic bank where I have spent 14 glorious years. I'm Vice President, Learning and Development, and will briefly tell you my success story with CIPD's Experience Assessment, which led to my certification and achieving the prestigious Chartered Fellowship. It all started when I met and discussed certification at a CIPD seminar. I'm a champion of certifications in the bank, but probably waited to do the best one. From the word start, the staff at CIPD helped, guided, and made the journey a memorable one. Each step from the EA assessment to signing up, submission, and the final viva was so well managed that I've loved the experience. I will encourage all HR personnel in my bank and outside to take the route. It's reflective, time saving, and cost effective as well. Thank you, CIPD. I'm honored to sign off as Ishrat Aleem, FCIPD.
Great. Thank you very much, Ishrat. We wish she was with us today. But we do also have another CIPD member online with us today, Ms. Jo Bettadini. She is one of CIPD's associates, and she also went through our experience assessment process. Jo, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you, Jane. Hi,
Hi,
everyone.
Jo. How are you?
Great, great. And pleasure to be here to share my whole experience with the experience assessment process. My name is Jo, and I'm an L&D independent consultant. Becoming a chartered member was an important milestone in my professional life. However, it was long overdue, just because of the busy work and family life I was leading. But at last, I had the opportunity to get my experience and skills formally recognized by the experience assessment route this year. Now, I did really find the overall experience was so rewarding. Although it did appear a little bit overwhelming at first, but don't let it dissuade you at all, as the process is well organized and structured, with recommendations on how and what to provide as evidence, and as what Rahul had shared with you previously, the examples for the 3 assessments, and of course there's lots of useful and helpful resources, so that for you to refer back as you progress, so that you can manage time effectively. Now, for me, apart from gaining that recognition and credentials, I really found it rewarding, specifically where I was forced to make or to create intentional time and space to do deep reflections, as we're often so busy, we're all, to look back at on our key achievements, and also to acknowledge what aspects of work that still needs improving. So the experience assessment definitely helped me to focus my thinking on the impact that my work, which my work had, which I was so surprised, believe me or not, with what I was achieving, and of course on the areas I need to consider to drive my professional development forward. So it is rare that, as we all know, that as people professionals, to find the time to step back and reflect on our achievements, but definitely this route will allow you to do so, and at the same time it gives you a perspective on the future. Thank you, Jane.
Great. Thank you so much, Jo. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time. Okay, let's have a look at the questions. So I'll try to read out all the questions, and okay, from Yusuf. Okay, hello, Yusuf. Thank you so much for being with us today. I believe one of my colleagues answered to the question, but I'll repeat it again. The question is, why is it so expensive for an assessment? The assessment process is a very rigorous process, and it requires many CIPD resources, especially our CIPD assessors. It is also very time efficient, especially for professionals who are very busy and they don't have the luxury of time to study a whole qualification. And in comparison to the prices of qualifications for CIPD at different levels, it is a bit cheaper, or maybe sometimes at the same level, depending on the level of qualification. At the end of the day, you do get your international recognition for your experience from CIPD, and you're able to use the initials, whether you finish at an FCIPD level or a chartered member as well, within 4 months, versus a qualification that could take a minimum of 9 months or 10 months up to 24 months. Okay, I hope I answered that question for you. If not, please do let us know, and I'm glad to have a call or an email right after that. We have a question from Lynn. Having completed the CIPD level 3 in human resource practice, is associate membership guaranteed after EA? Maybe Rahul or Tina with us would like to answer this question.
Right. Okay. So let me take that question, Jin. Thank you. Lynn, so I understand you have completed a level 3 diploma in HR practice. So that should have automatically given you associate membership. But let's say if you wanted to, get onto chartered or fellow membership, now that's where the major difference between qualification and experience assessment pops in for experienced HR or L&D professionals. So in order to qualify for a chartered or a fellow membership, you either can go through experience assessment or you need to have a level 7 diploma in HR. So level 3 and level 5 can only take you as far as associate membership. If you want to become a chartered or fellow member, then it needs to be a level 7 qualification. So that's why experience assessment comes into play. But if you already have done the level 3 diploma, that will automatically give you associate membership with the CIPD. So I hope I've answered that question.
Great. Thank you, Rahul. And a question from Vivian, is there a CIPD office in Egypt? I can see that my colleague Patricia already answered that. So just to give you an idea about our offices around the world, the CIPD's headquarters are in Wimbledon in London. We have another office in Ireland, and our hub in the Middle East we're based in Dubai for the whole of Middle East. And in Asia, we have our office in Singapore. The following question is from Praveen. Thank you, Praveen. Is it possible that someone fail in the assessment? What will be the next step if it happens? Thank you so much for the question. Thank you. No, it's not possible to fail in the assessment, mainly because we do a rigorous pre-assessment before we set the individual up for the experience assessment process. So we do help with the pre-assessment to make sure that anyone who goes through the assessment, through the experience assessment, will be absolutely successful in it. Rahul, if you would like to add anything to that, you can go
so
ahead.
as Jane rightly said, that the whole purpose of the pre-assessment tool and the CV screening is for us to ensure that you meet the requirements of the membership grade that you're applying for. Now, no one can really fail the experience assessment process. When you complete the pre-assessment tool and the CV screening that we do, we sort of establish that you're definitely onto that route. Yes, now there is a certain chance whereby let's say you applied for chartered membership, but you're eventually awarded an associate membership. That can happen, but that is solely dependent on you. So hence, we very clearly emphasize on the fact that before you take up the tool, please go through the membership criteria that's on our website, so you understand that you're definitely at the level. When we do the CV screening as well, we ensure that you are eligible for the membership grade that you're applying for. And if we have any concerns, we raise it from the start. But let's say it doesn't happen in any of these two stages for you. It will really come down to then that you ensure that in the knowledge and impact report, the behavior report, and the call, you are able to prove and demonstrate to us that you meet the membership grade. Or you could possibly receive an associate if you're applying for chartered, for instance. But again, that happens in very, very rare circumstances. I do not have the stats, so I can personally say that could possibly be, 1 in 50 cases where this can happen. But again, it is very rare for this to happen.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rahul. I think, Rahul, the next question is also something that you can answer. Yeah. It's by Dr. Rika. I hope I'm saying the name the right way. Apologies if not. So Dr. Rika has a doctorate in the field of HR, impressive. And you have only 7 months of experience as a lecturer. Additionally, I have 1 month experience as an HR manager. Do you think I'm eligible for experience membership, or shall I go by an academic route? Okay, so Rahul.
Okay, so since you already have a doctorate in HR, I feel you should be eligible for experience assessment. What I would suggest is to go and take up the tool. on our website. So you're able to definitely assist that not just academically, but even your experience meets the eligibility requirements for experience assessment route. So take up the pre-assessment tool. If you still have any doubts, get in touch with your local CIPD office. If it is us, then it is ea@cipd.ae. We'll give you the contact details later, and we can also help you assist. But the pre-assessment tool is the best way to ensure that you're at the right level. If you're at if you have a doctorate and you have a good number of years of experience, I do think you should qualify for chartered or fellowship. But please go through the tool after going through the membership criteria, so you can ensure that you're at the right level.
Great. Thank you, Rahul. Our next question is from Hisham. Thank you, Hisham, for your question. And it says, what's the difference with the assessment and other companies that offer CIPD courses? Is the recognition the same? Okay.
Right. Okay, I'll take this up. Yeah.
Okay.
So Hisham, first of all, you mentioned CIPD courses that are offered by other companies. So that is, as we said initially, the qualification route. CIPD courses are the qualification route. The companies that you're talking about that offer it could essentially be our approved training providers, because we directly do not offer qualifications. We offer them through our approved training providers across the GCC and other regions. So again, if you're going through the qualification route, please ensure that they are listed on the CIPD website. The recognition is, so essentially we're talking about membership grade that you get with the qualification and experience assessment is the same. So you can go for the qualification route through our approved training providers if that's what you're looking at. And if you don't have the right number of experience to go through the experience assessment route. Again, to retaliate on that, whether you go through experience assessment or qualification, the end result is a membership grade with the CIPD. So I hope that answers your question.
Great. Thank you, Rahul. The next question is by Rosalia. May I know the pass rate of experience assessment? My colleague Rahul just mentioned that we very rarely see someone not being successful in their experience assessment. So just in case this happens, we see it 1 in every 50 or 60 participants. But that wouldn't be because the whole route of experience assessment is difficult. It could be due to other factors. But I would say based on that, it would be 98 or 99% pass rate. And then another question from Vivian, is this membership accredited worldwide? Yes, it is internationally recognized. CIPD is internationally recognized. And once you become a member, you are also recognized worldwide. The following question is by Lynn, level 3 foundation certificate.
Right. Okay. This goes back to the same question. Lynn, if you have a certificate in HR, like the foundation HR level 3, that should qualify you for associate membership. So you don't have to go through experience assessment if associate membership or what you're looking at. So certificates and award diplomas can give you the membership with the CIPD, not the short awards, but the certificate and diploma at level 3 and 5 and 7 currently can give you associate membership.
Okay, thank you, Rahul. And then the next one, I think we kind of had a similar question. This one is by Isaac. Does having a postgraduate qualification in HRM qualify to become an associate or member? Last 6 years in finance with a bit of HRM, can an assessment be done?
Right. So the answer to this would be, Isaac, again, first of all, please go through the pre-assessment tool. So because when you say a bit of HR, it's difficult for us to assess right away if you have the right experience. Again, as I was mentioning earlier on the key criteria, at least 1 year of HR experience. But since you have a PG qualification, it is also essential to check which institution that you have done it from. Let's say if it is a UK-based institution that is accredited by the CIPD, or one of the institutions in the UAE that offer postgraduate qualifications accredited by the CIPD, then you will automatically qualify for CIPD membership. For instance, if you study at Middlesex University or University of Wollongong or Emirates Aviation University in Dubai. These three are CIPD accredited universities. What that means is completing a master's degree with one of these three universities will automatically give you CIPD membership, because since that is considered a level 7 graduate qualification. But if it's from any other institution, then that would not qualify you for experience assessment if it's non-accredited. So in that case, experience assessment is the route for you. But other than finance, we will only focus on your HR experience. So again, please, I'm saying this again and again because this is so important. Please go through the membership criteria on our website and then complete the tools to ensure that you are eligible for experience assessment.
Thank you, Rahul. I can see here that my colleague Patricia answered to your question, Lynn, or I hope we did answer to your question. Sarah, thank you so much for your participation. Yes, thank you. And another question here by Fatma. Hi, I have a technical background in data analytics and data science, and I was a data analyst in people analytics domain for the past 1.5 years. Can I apply for the associate membership? So,
okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So the way I would see it is you have technical background in data analytics and data sciences. Okay. So while you have worked in people analytics, and you could potentially be eligible for experience assessment route, but I would also highly suggest you to look into our qualification route if you want to make a career in HR or L&D, because in your case, what I genuinely feel is that you should gain more academic knowledge to function across the board in HR or L&D. Just correct me if I'm wrong there, Jane. But yeah, that is my personal suggestion. You could potentially be eligible for associate membership through experience assessment, but the right route for you could be the qualification route. So you can gain academic knowledge across the HR professional, and that will also, as I said earlier, will give you associate membership with the CIPD.
Yeah, and I think for all the pre-assessment tool that we have will help Fatma, see what level she could be potentially at once she for experience assessment. And that would help determine if experience assessment route is best for Fatma or if she should go down the academic route, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And we have a question from Rami. If I am a Syrian and my location is Syria, where many sanctions are in place, including online payments, is it an issue to complete the registration? So for payments from Syria, Patricia or Rahul, if you would like to answer this question regarding the online payments.
So now the payment methods that is accepted by the CIPD are bank transfer or credit card payments. Now, there could be a situation, since you are based in Syria, that credit card payments could potentially be a problem. We could take this offline, and we could, if you can send us an email, we can probably find a way to help you make the payments for experience assessment, depending on which region that you can make the payment to. As Jane suggested, we have offices in Dubai, in the UK, in Ireland, and in Singapore. So probably, if not to us directly, you could be able to make a payment to one of our other branches and start the process through that. We could, look into also installment option where possible in exceptional circumstances where we can do that. And also the payment currencies accepted vary from one region to the other. So if you were to pay in the UK, you'd be paying in British pounds. If you were to pay in the Middle East, you could also pay in USD. So that should also make a difference. Probably we can look into this once you've completed your pre-assessment tool.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Rahul. Rami, I hope we were able to answer your question. The next one is from Tony. So Tony says, I have 12 years of L&D experience with my previous employer, but from past 15 months, I have moved to different role in another company. So do I qualify? Initially, yes. I don't see it being a problem if you moved in from one company to another. But again, it depends on the role you have and, of course, your experience. Rahul, I don't know if you'd like to add more to this.
So I mean, what matters to us really is your experience and your role and the impact you've made on the role. If you've changed companies even in the last 3 months, it really should not affect us. We really only focus on your work experience, not the organization you work for. So if you have 15 years of experience in L&D in another organization and some from another one, that's perfectly fine. What I would suggest is that when you do your professional development, ideally try to have your peer feedback from your current line manager, and also if you have good relationships and contacts, then maybe your previous line manager from your previous organization, since you work for longer with them. So that's our suggestion really. But no, it should not be a problem if you've changed organizations at all.
Yeah. Thank you, Rahul. A question from Daniel. Can you share the self-assessment link? And I can see Hisham already did. Thank you so much, Hisham, for sharing our free assessment tool link. That's amazing. We'll also be sharing it with you if you want after the webinar is done, privately by email. Rami wanted to share the email. Patricia shared the email with everyone. Great. Share the location of our Dubai CIPD office. Our Dubai CIPD office is in Knowledge Village. Yeah, I can see Patricia already sent that. Thank you so much, Patricia, for this. And Joe also answered to Tony. Great, thank you so much, Joe, for this. And Dr. Vika, okay, I think we're at the end of the questions, unless anyone has any other questions, anything you'd like to add, please do. If you remember anything or you need any more clarifications, please do get in touch with us on our Middle East email address, which is ea@cipd.ae. We'll be more than happy to get on a call with you and answer you by email and give you all the details needed. Hello, I missed the webinar. Can you send me the recording? Yes, Samir, we can send you the recording for sure. The recording of the webinar will be available within a week's time, and we will be sending you the link to the recording as well, so you can have it, and you can also share it with other colleagues and people in the profession that could be interested in experience assessment as well. Sorry, last one from Isaac. CIPD in India. Great. CIPD in India is serviced through our Singapore office in Asia. And as you can see here on the screen, you have the email address for our Asia office, which is asia@cipd.asia. So you can get in touch with them directly there. And great. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for being with us. The best of luck, whether you decide to go with experience assessments, qualifications. We really appreciate your time, and we really appreciate your fantastic questions and your enthusiasm with us. Thank you so much, and hopefully we'll see you again on another exciting webinar. Have a great afternoon. Goodbye.
Thanks, everyone. Goodbye. Stay safe.